The Pacific War, a theater of World War II, was marked by fierce fighting and immense brutality. Japan, driven by imperial ambitions, sought to expand its dominion across Asia and the Pacific. The United States, drawn into the conflict after the attack on Pearl Harbor, fought to halt this expansion. Island-hopping campaigns, naval battles, and air raids became the norm. Each side endured heavy losses, the human cost of war mounting with each passing day. The conflict raged on, a bloody stalemate threatening to prolong the suffering. Amidst this chaos, a new and terrifying weapon was being developed in secret. The outcome of the war and the fate of countless lives hung precariously in the balance. Far from the battlefields, a different kind of war effort was underway. In laboratories across the United States, brilliant minds toiled in secrecy on the Manhattan Project, their mission to harness the power of the atom and create a weapon of unprecedented destructive force. Driven by the urgency of wartime, scientists raced against time, pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge. The ethical implications of their work, of unleashing such devastating power, weighed heavily on many. Yet the project continued, fueled by the belief that this weapon could end the war and save lives in the long run. Little did they know, the consequences of their creation would reverberate for generations to come. On August 6, 1945, the world watched in horror as the unimaginable became reality. The dawn of the nuclear age was marked by an event that would forever alter the course of history. A B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, took off from Tinian Island carrying a single, devastating payload. This atomic bomb, codenamed Little Boy, was destined for the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The mission was shrouded in secrecy, and the crew knew the gravity of their task. Hiroshima, a city that was once vibrant and bustling with life, was about to face an unprecedented catastrophe. Its streets were filled with people going about their daily lives, unaware of the impending doom. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb detonated. The blinding flash and searing heat were followed by a deafening roar, the shockwave flattening buildings for miles around. The explosion created a fireball that reached temperatures of several million degrees, incinerating everything in its path. Thousands perished in the initial blast, their shadows etched into the very fabric of the city. The intense heat caused spontaneous combustion, and the resulting fires consumed what little remained. In the aftermath, a silent killer emerged: radiation sickness. The survivors, known as hibakusha, faced a new and terrifying enemy. The invisible radiation penetrated their bodies, causing severe burns, radiation poisoning, and long-term health effects. Victims, many of them innocent civilians, succumbed to its agonizing effects in the days, weeks, and years that followed. Hospitals were overwhelmed with the injured, and medical staff struggled to understand and treat the mysterious symptoms. Hiroshima, once a symbol of Japanese culture and resilience, became a chilling testament to the destructive power of the atomic bomb. The city's ruins stood as a stark reminder of the horrors of nuclear warfare, and the world would never be the same again. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, another B-29 bomber, Boxcar, arrived over Japan, this time carrying an even more powerful plutonium bomb, Fat Man. The target, the port city of Nagasaki. At 11:02 a.m., the bomb detonated over the city's industrial valley, instantly transforming the landscape into a scene of unimaginable devastation. Buildings crumbled, fires raged, and a mushroom cloud, a haunting symbol of the atomic age, rose high into the sky. Nagasaki, like Hiroshima, bore witness to the horrors of atomic warfare. The human toll was catastrophic, with tens of thousands killed and countless others left with physical and psychological scars that would last a lifetime. Section 5. Surrender and the Dawn of a New Era. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki sent shockwaves across the globe. For the first time, humanity had witnessed the terrifying power of atomic weapons. The devastation inflicted upon these cities forced Japan to confront the grim reality of its situation. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's unconditional surrender, bringing an end to World War II. The global conflict, which had claimed over 70 million lives, was finally over. The world entered a new era, one defined by the chilling reality of nuclear weapons. The hope for peace was now intertwined with the fear of annihilation. The challenge before humanity was clear: to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. Section 6. The Shadow of the Bomb, a Legacy of Loss. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki cast a long shadow over the world. The cities were reduced to rubble in an instant, and the human cost was staggering. Tens of thousands perished immediately, and countless more suffered in the aftermath. The immediate devastation was just the beginning. The survivors, known as hibakusha, faced a lifetime of challenges. The physical scars were visible, but the emotional and psychological wounds ran even deeper. For decades, survivors faced ongoing health problems, discrimination, and the psychological trauma of that fateful day. Many suffered from radiation sickness, cancers, and other long-term health issues. The social stigma attached to being a survivor added to their burden. The use of atomic bombs ignited a global debate about the morality of such weapons. Was it justified to use such a devastating force to end the war? This question sparked intense discussions and protests worldwide. The world grappled with the implications of this new technology, a force capable of unimaginable destruction. Scientists and policymakers were faced with the ethical dilemmas of harnessing nuclear power, both for energy and for weaponry. The bombings also marked the beginning of the Cold War, a period of intense rivalry and nuclear proliferation between the United States and the Soviet Union. This era was characterized by an arms race, with both superpowers amassing vast arsenals of nuclear weapons. The world lived in fear of another nuclear attack, a constant reminder of the destructive power now at humanity's fingertips. Civil defense drills and public bomb shelters became a part of everyday life, as people grappled with the ever-present threat of nuclear war. The legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki continues to shape our world, reminding us of the profound consequences of nuclear conflict. Section 7. Voices from the Ashes, Survivors' Stories. The true cost of Hiroshima and Nagasaki can be understood only through the stories of those who lived through it. Survivors, known as hibakusha, carry the physical and emotional scars of that day. Their stories are harrowing accounts of loss, resilience, and hope. They speak of witnessing unimaginable suffering, of losing loved ones, and of facing their own mortality. They share their experiences to bear witness to the horrors of nuclear war and to advocate for peace. These voices, filled with pain yet imbued with a powerful message of peace, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war and the importance of striving for a world free from nuclear weapons. Section 8. Hiroshima and Nagasaki as Symbols of Peace. In the aftermath of tragedy, Hiroshima and Nagasaki have transformed into symbols of peace. The cities, once devastated by war, are now dedicated to commemorating the victims and advocating for a world without nuclear weapons. The Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park and Museum stand as poignant reminders of the horrors of atomic warfare. They serve as centers for education, reflection, and a call to action. These cities, forever linked by tragedy, have become beacons of hope. They remind us of the fragility of peace and the urgent need to work toward a future free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. Section 9. Remembering the Past, Shaping the Future. The 78th anniversary of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serves as a solemn reminder of the devastating consequences of nuclear war. The images of the destruction and the stories of the survivors continue to resonate deeply, reminding us of the fragility of human life and the catastrophic impact of such weapons. It is a time for reflection, for honoring the victims, and for reaffirming our commitment to peace. Each year, people from around the world gather at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park to pay their respects, laying flowers and offering prayers. This act of remembrance is not just about looking back, but also about inspiring future generations to strive for a more peaceful world. As we remember the past, we must also look to the future. The city of Hiroshima, once devastated, now stands as a symbol of resilience and hope. Its vibrant streets and thriving communities are a testament to the human spirit's ability to rebuild and move forward. The threat of nuclear weapons remains a reality in our world. Despite the progress made in disarmament, the existence of these weapons continues to pose a significant danger. International efforts and treaties aim to reduce this threat, but the journey towards complete disarmament is ongoing and requires global cooperation. The lessons of Hiroshima and Nagasaki must not be forgotten. They serve as powerful reminders of the need for vigilance and the importance of advocating for a world free from the threat of nuclear devastation. The stories of the survivors, known as hibakusha, are particularly poignant, offering first-hand accounts of the horrors of nuclear war. We have a responsibility to learn from history and work towards a world where such atrocities are never repeated. This involves not only remembering the past, but also taking active steps to promote peace and disarmament. Educational programs, public awareness campaigns, and international dialogues are crucial in this effort. The path to peace is not always easy, but it is a journey we must take together. It requires the collective effort of individuals, communities, and nations. By fostering a culture of peace and understanding, we can work towards a future where the horrors of nuclear war are a distant memory. By remembering the past, honoring the victims, and advocating for a world free from nuclear weapons, we can create a safer and more peaceful future for all. Let us commit to this cause, ensuring that the legacy of Hiroshima and Nagasaki leads to a world where peace prevails and the shadow of nuclear threat is forever banished.